Hey, I'm back, and what I hold in my hand right now is actually one of the deadliest foods in the world. So for those that don't know what this is actually mochi, and this has become a news story because lots of people have been getting hurt by this, and frankly it's kind of ridiculous. Now you're probably thinking like, oh, is this poisonous, or like what's happening? But actually it's not poisonous at all. It's made from rice. If you check my channel, you'll see I've done like lots of food reviews on mochi and things made from mochi, but it actually does kill quite a few people every year. So let's take a look at some of these articles they have on it. Okay, so here we have one from the BBC. Says, delicious but deadly mochi, the Japanese rice cake that kills. So here's another form of it. The one I have here, this is like a hard one. You have to boil this, so usually have this and you boil it, or you put it in like miso soup or something like that. But these are actually a little bit softer, so you can just eat them as is. But it says 2 people have died in Japan and several are in critical condition after choking on traditional rice cakes as part of the New Year celebrations. So this is actually this year. Last time I heard, there's only 1 person that died, but it could be 2 by now. And during New Year's, this is one of the traditional foods, so people like to eat this, but I don't know, maybe people should stop. For the most part, it's good and it's not that dangerous, but the problem is it's like older people that have trouble with this because it's so sticky. So you're wondering like how it kills. It's very thick and it's sticky, so if you just swallow it, it gets stuck in your throat, and that's how people are dying. People are literally being like choked by this. And so people like to eat this, and here's someone like a mochi pounding at a shrine in Tokyo. A few years ago I actually did a video on this where it showed people making this. But yeah, you put the rice in this like wooden bowl thing, wooden barrel, and then you pound it with a hammer. And so here it says, how do they kill? The buns are chewy and sticky. Given they are far bigger than bite size, they need to be laboriously chewed before swallowing. Anyone who can't chew properly, like children or the elderly, will be likely to find them hard to eat. And for me, I've never found them hard to eat, but I can understand what the problem is. What I think the bigger problem is older people continue to eat these, although it seems like every year people are dying from this and they give out warnings. So they said like recently, like cut the mochi into smaller pieces so people can eat them. But in my opinion, instead of doing that, just tell like older people, like when you're 60, stop eating mochi. Maybe go 65, but I think like over 65, like that's where the real risk comes in. But the thing I don't understand is like, why are people still eating this? For me, it's like, I can understand people want this tradition. They want to, you know, continue doing this, and lots of people don't want to admit they're old. Maybe I'm old and I don't want to admit I'm old. So I understand that. But at a certain point, it's like, really, is it worth risking your life for this? I mean, having this is good. I like mochi. You see I have it at my house. But the problem is, like, if I never got to eat it again, it's okay. It's not like the best food ever. It really, if you ever had it before, it's like tasteless. So people put like some other sauce or something on it, but by itself, it really doesn't taste like anything. And for me, I think if it's gonna take, you know, years off my life, or I guess cause me to die instantly, I'll just go without it. I mean, if you're somebody's grandfather, who wants to have their New Year's or winter vacation ruined because their grandparents died because they just had to eat that mochi? Just give it a rest, please. And here it says, what's the safe way to eat them? Chew, chew, chew. If that's not possible, the rice cakes need to be cut into smaller pieces. Each year, authorities issue public warnings in the run-up to the New Year's festivities, advising that people, especially the very young and elderly, should only eat mochi cut down to smaller little chunks. Despite the warnings each year, there continue to be deaths linked to the dish. At the turn of 2014 to 2015, the number of casualties peaked at 9. In 2016, it was 1, while last year 2 people died. And I understand it's not that many, but at the same time, it shouldn't be happening at all, in my opinion. Like, I would say just stay away from it, but if you have to eat it, cut it in little chunks. Like, for those out there, I imagine not many Japanese people are actually watching my channel, but if you are, cut that up for your grandmother or grandfather. Help them out. You want them to live a long time. That's a terrible way to end your life. So hopefully people will be safe in the future, and hopefully next year for 2020 there's 0 deaths and nobody is hurt from mochi. So anyways, I thought I'd let you know about this because this is kind of a news story in Japan. But if you like this, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and until next time, see you.